Is this enough? Keeping the booth spotless is always step one. Panel white, every surface clean. Tack-ragged and ready for paint. Looks perfect, right? But is that really enough for a super clean paint job? Let's take it one step further and meet the IONSTAR Anti-Static Gun. Now we all know static is one of the biggest causes of dust attraction during paintwork, especially on lighter panels and high gloss jobs. You can clean, wipe and tack all you want, but static will still pull dust in from thin air. This is where the IONSTAR Anti-Static Gun comes in. It neutralises static in seconds, stopping that invisible magnet effect that ruins an otherwise perfect paint job. I've been using it on this Subaru Forester paint job. White panels, high gloss finish, and I've been seriously impressed with how clean the job is coming out. So today I'll show you exactly what it does, how it works in the booth and whether it's worth adding to your setup. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm checking out the IONSTAR Anti-Static Airgun, but before we get into how that thing performs, I've got something to talk about what it comes with. Because honestly I weren't expecting this. It includes this absolutely amazing paint suit, all logoed up front and rear. I've wanted a proper black paint suit for a long time. I've bought various ones from Sartor, DeVille base. There's been some dark charcoal, but never a black one. I'd actually given up on getting a black one. And then I order the IONSTAR Anti-Static Gun, and when that arrives, lo and behold, I open the box and free of charge, it includes a black paint suit. So I am really happy. I've finally got the black paint suit I'm wanting, so I can look great in the booth again when I'm doing some videos. So let's get into the video and show you more about the IONSTAR Anti-Static Gun. So we're now off into the paint booth to give the IONSTAR Anti-Static Gun a go on the panels and see what it's like before we start the paintwork. So as you can see, it comes in a lovely box. Presentation's on point, as you would expect from a nearly £2,000 product. You have to bear in mind, when you're using this IONSTAR Anti-Static Gun, you need to have your booth pressure on your line below 50. It only works up to 50. If you go any higher than 50 psi on your pressure, then the turbine inside the stat gun will overspool and you'll damage your stat gun. So the last thing you want to do is not set your booth pressure, because most booths, mine was set at 110 before and were regulated at the guns. But obviously using this stat gun, I've lowered the pressure down to what it needs to be to make sure we don't damage the gun. So we're now in the booth and we're going to use the IONSTAR Anti-Static Gun to go over the front bumper, which is over here, and obviously to go over the bonnet that we're doing as well. I'd say it's more important on the plastic panels like the bumper, but static builds up on anything. So I'm going to use it on everything we paint going forward. It'll give us a cleaner job, a better job, better colours. Overall, just better job. It does show you, I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but it shows you the areas that you're going over. So you've got an LED So that's the bonnet done. We're now going to do the bumper. So prior to using the stack gun, which gives you about 40 minutes, but they advise to do the paintwork within 15 minutes, but you can have up to 40 at a push, so I'd always try and stay 15-20 minutes. The static has now gone, and we're going to now start laying the primer. We're going to go wet on wet primer on these jobs because we've got some bare plastic in places and a few areas that I'm not quite happy with, but a wet on wet primer will cover them, and then we'll go over with the paint. So we've got one coat of wet on wet primer across the bonnet, the same on the bumper, just gives us a nice uniform panel to work from. Got to leave this 20 minutes now to flash off, and then we can come in and start putting some paint over it. We will use the Ionstar again. Once the primer's dried, we'll come in and use Ionstar again, because obviously we'll be well out of the 15 minutes that it gives you, and I want to make sure we get this job as clean as possible, especially with it being white. Now that the panels are clean and static free, it's time for the base coat, and for that I'm using the Devilbis DV1 Gamba Edition. This is hands down my favourite gun for laying perfect base coat. The atomisation is incredible and the control is smooth. It just makes every job feel effortless. If you've never tried one, honestly, it's a game changer. So we're 20 minutes in, the wet and wet primer we've put on has now dried, so we're going to use the stack gun again, go over the bonnet and the bumper, and then we're going to get some base coat on it. Obviously, we've now restarted the 15 to 40 minute window of all the static being removed, so we can go ahead and get some base coat on. All the base coat on. They're very, very clean. Not seen any nibs in the bonnet at all, and I've seen one nib in the bumper. So far the job is very clean. May show up a bit more once we get the lacquer flowing, but now it's time to get the clear on. So let's get into it. With the base coat laid down perfectly, it's time for the clear, and for that I'm using an Iwata WS400 Series 2 Digital. This is my go-to gun for clear coat work. Atomisation is flawless, control is ultra precise, and the digital gauge makes it easy to stay consistent every single time. It just lays the clear perfectly, smooth, even, and perfect every time. So as we're clear coating the bonnet and the front bumper, I'm noticing considerably less dust nibs in the finish compared to without using the Ionstar Anti-Static gun. We always hoover the booth and clean the panels to within an inch of the life before painting, but no matter how careful you are, you always end up with a few dirt inclusions in the clear. The whole point of trying the Ionstar was to see if we could reduce that even further, and on first impressions it's worked brilliantly. There's still the odd tiny nibs here and there, but I'd say it's easily reduced them by 70 to 80%, and that's impressive considering my jobs were already fairly clean to begin with. It's made a huge difference, and we're getting even closer to the near perfect finish. So we've got these Subaru panels finished in white. I think it's called 51E. They're a nice clean job. The Ionstar gun has made quite a difference. There's a few little dirt nibs in there, as you get with all jobs, but there's definitely less than I usually get. So I can recommend the anti-static gun from Ionstar. I'm definitely happy with my purchase, and obviously it's going to make the jobs come out a lot cleaner on everything we do going forward. You can see the bonnet has come out lovely, the bumper has also come out lovely. I'll just get you and try and give you a few close-ups, see if we can get a close-up for you. So there's very little in it. It's come out nice, you can see if I can get it in the light. There's one muck nib there. Just see it, I think, in the light. And then if we go to the bumper, again, very clean job. Tend to in white get quite a lot, and this is a really clean job. The Ionstar gun has definitely made a difference. The jobs have come out beautiful. So that's my take on the Ionstar Anti-Static gun. Honestly, I'm really impressed. The finish you get is super clean, static's completely neutralised, and that included black paint suit is just the icing on the cake. As you can see, the logo's on the rear, it looks great. I would say it's probably around a £50–60 paint suit, comparing them with prices on other things. It's included free, so that's a great addition that I didn't know I was getting. This isn't a sponsored video. I've paid for the Ionstar gun in full. I can recommend it 100%. I'll drop a link in the description so that you can check it out for yourself. And if you find this video useful, give it a thumbs up, drop us a comment, let us know if you think about getting one, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got plenty more product reviews, paint tech and workshop tips coming up soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.